Here we go, introducing our very first matchup. We talked about it briefly before, Steve, but it's going to be Tim versus SickDuck.
Yeah, I am so ready for this, Chobra. Opening match here in the entire tournament. Tim getting a little bit of a faster start right here, so there's a bit of a desync, but no, kind of, in my opinion, it makes it a little bit easier to kind of follow the action here. You can watch Tim over here on the top and then pan right back down to SickDuck and see exactly who is able to make everything. And so far, it's been absolutely perfect. Every single Lotus Gem has been collected.
Yeah, I mean, no big changes just yet, and we're going to see if that keeps up as we go through. Not seeing any crazy reactions. Picking up a lot of the power set you're going to need here. Starting off with a spinach cookie on both as well, so we'll have to make sure that they're able to collect all the vegetable jellies that the spinach cookie is going to be able to give you, because that's going to add up to a lot of the bonus points moving forward.
And thus far, I mean, it's kind of hard to feel like you almost need a two set of eyes to be able to catch everything. Okay, SickDuck losing a couple of little jellies right there. Now, they are the Lotus Gems, so it's not that impactful, but given how perfect the runs have been so far, especially from Chim here on the top screen, that might come back to bite him.
I mean, yeah, you look at the point difference on the right side, right? And it's just been dead even right around the 200,000, 300,000 points. So it might really just come down to a couple of those. But we'll see, of course, now with the power-up, able to get a couple of those extra points. And that's where the gap starts to show a little bit here for SickDuck, falling behind.
Yeah, man, Tim navigating the earlier stages here a little bit better than his opponent. Has a comfortable 2 million point lead. Double jumps coming in right now. Everyone able to collect each Lotus Gem, so still perfect. And for SickDuck, there isn't too much of a gap. Oh, no.
Yeah, missing a couple. Just one extra Lotus Gem, and that starts to add up. You see that number starting to fluctuate a little bit on the right side. SickDuck might have to make sure that he plays perfect. Even then, it might already be out of his hand.
I think at this point here for SickDuck, you just have to lock in, play this one perfectly, and hope that Tim goes for a misstep. But thus far, I feel like Tim has missed basically nothing, Chobra.
Yeah, this is looking like it's Tim's to lose so far. Okay, just a couple. Obviously, you have to kind of pick and choose where you're going to be able to go with this one, but Tim looks unfazed so far, and it doesn't look like he's giving any room for SickDuck to try to catch up. Going for those destruction points here with the spinach cookie. Collecting all the Lotus Gems.
Hey, the gap has closed a little bit right now. SickDuck been navigating this a little bit better here in the late game. Only a 600,000 point difference. Is there going to be a misstep coming in here for Tim in some of these later moments of the map? Thus far, it's still been good. He's actually been able to regain some of that lead. Yeah,
SickDuck missing 1 or 2 Lotus Gems again. We'll have to wait to go into the second phase here with the Ion Robot.
Ion Robot now coming in. The baton has been passed, and let's see if the Ion Robot's going to favor SickDuck a little bit more here. Big double jump coming in. Both players able to do it perfectly.
Yeah, nice and clean from both players. You love to see it, still keeping things in contention here for SickDuck.
Ooh, Lotus Gem missed there by SickDuck once more. I feel like he got most of the little jellies, but losing the Lotus Gem, that is the big money maker right now on this map.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just going to come down to adding up, 1 to 3 maybe differences here on those Lotus Jellies.
Yeah, there is, of course, some strategic decision-making you can make in terms of what you're going to prioritize taking. It's hard to basically choose everything, even on a 3-star map. But so far, it seems like Tim has been able to maintain this lead. He's still sitting at plus 1.3 mil. He just hasn't relented.
Yeah, not too much. I mean, sometimes that number has to catch up a little bit. Ooh,
they both do. Yeah, they both miss a Lotus Jelly. It's one of the harder double jumps that we have here on this map. So at the end of the day, it still is a wash. Let's see if SickDuck is able to catch all 3 of those and the 5 on top. Indeed, he is.
And now just bouncing back up for those extra points, trying to close the gap. But like we said in the beginning, I think, again, it's just going to come down to... Okay, all right, yep. Oh, 1 extra one missed from SickDuck, and I think that is going to be the difference. Tim leading by just about 1 million points.
734 mil there, the closing number. That was an incredibly close match. It's really what you expect when you get 2 of the top GCL players in the world, Tim and SickDuck, going head-to-head. The map is predetermined, but as we move into the best of 3s, as we move into the best of 5s, it's loser's pick. Let's see how that plays out for them. I like it when there's a little bit of asymmetry here in terms of the build order selection, the loadouts.
All right, and just starting off nice and simple on both sides. Inverse keeping tabs on a lot of the pink berry jellies as we go through. Inverse on the bottom, of course, for those of you just tuning in, and you from Indonesia up top. Oh, catches everything nice and clean.
Yeah, even on the speed boost there, I feel like we haven't had a single misplay. It's what, 1,000-point difference, and that kind of comes down to the build order selection, right? In terms of getting some bonus.
That's so tight, 1,000, getting all of the Lotus Gems there as well. Nice and clean so far for both.
Yeah, it's basically no difference at all. That's like 1 or 2 jellies in total, and I'm alternating my view between you and Inverse, and it feels like I haven't seen anybody miss anything. Maybe 1 or 2. I think 1 or 2 jellies might have been missed there by you, and that's going to lead to a 500,000-point gain here for Inverse relative to the opponent.
And the candy's coming in big as well for Inverse so far with the pink berry jellies, by making sure that he collects all of them, giving him that extra boost. But we'll see if that continues all throughout. You have to skip out on a couple of those. He actually misses 1 extra one compared to you. And again, considering that Inverse is banking on those pink berry jellies, it is going to cost him a little bit, but he's still keeping the lead pretty nice and healthy.
Yeah, so
missed the
far
Lotus.
It seems like the plan has been mostly going
mostly
the way that he would expect it.
Yeah, I mean, considering he had a decent lead, he's going to be okay with that for now. But again, we've still got a lot of the race left. We saw how much the points can still fluctuate towards the later part of the race, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that.
All right, both players navigating the mid-game run Lotus quite well here. Let's see if they miss any of these gems. Got a double time, or timed up that double jump. Both players able to do it successfully. Really flawless play thus far. Now, for the first match these guys are playing in the tournament, it seems like they are already settled in.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that though, a couple Lotus gems missed on top.
Yeah, a little bit of the difference coming in so far. Inverse keeping it clean on collecting all the Lotus gems. Expands that point difference just a little bit further.
Yeah, that was so flawless there by Inverse. Almost hard to believe this guy says he's only practicing 30 minutes a day and he's delivering this kind of performance here on the opening match. Does miss 1 Lotus jump. Ooh, 3
that's
missed
a big
right
one.
There. He still has the lead, but it's whittled down to 800,000 points.
I mean, that cuts down his lead by an entire 50%. All right, now we'll see, of course, going into the Ion Robot.
Robot now coming here as the baton is passed. Inverse, let's see if we can lock back in. The early game was flawless. The mid game a little bit more shaky right there.
Both of them missed a decent amount there, but 1 extra one missed for you.
You missing 4 of those Lotus gems. Inverse missing 3 in total. Is the headset there for Inverse adjusted a little bit?
No, his head's still too small.
It's falling off.
The headset's adult size. It's too big.
All right, dude, Inverse, he's locking in right now, man.
Yeah, he's still keeping the lead. Let's be honest, it's going to be pretty distracting having someone hold your headset for now, but he's still going through it.
Wow, I'm actually very impressed that despite having the headset get adjusted mid-game, he didn't miss a beat. Dude, that would be throwing me off so much in this moment. He still has a 1.1 million lead, and I know that's not very much, but
yeah,
with a 3-star map like this one, it's hard to close the distance.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's kind of the same as that first race we saw. Now it's on Inverse to lose this one, it seems like, as both of them playing relatively similarly, just the 1 or 2 extra mistakes making a big difference. And of course, Inverse having kind of that advantage early on with the pink berry jellies as well. Both missing 2, it looks like, so it should keep Inverse in the lead. And there we go. Once again, just a 1,000,000-point difference, and Inverse able to close it out. Now again, personal record, SickDuck still holding the higher record this time around, but it was the same thing for Inverse versus you. Inverse had the lower record, I believe. And we will be kicking off in match 3 of Group A here in the preliminaries.
A lot of fans from Thailand going to be cheering here for SickDuck. Can he deliver the performance that everybody is expecting from him so far? A flawless start here on Lilies.
Yeah, both of them getting everything they want. Of course, Inverse a little bit more skewed. Oh, no. Lotus Jelly missed for SickDuck. Starting off a little bit on that back foot, already behind 200K, and we'll see if that gap starts to widen a little bit.
As long as he's able to mitigate the damage, not let that happen again, I think he should be fine. Yeah, it's inevitable that you're going to be missing some Lotus Jellies. I mean, this is a 3-star map, but even at this level, it's hard to do everything perfectly. I don't think that we've seen a perfect run here yet.
Yeah, we actually just got a little bit of a trade-off there for Inverse as well. So SickDuck taking that lead just once again, making sure also just to rack up on a lot of those basic codes for the extra points. So we're pretty much all tied up, right? A little bit of a mishap on both sides. SickDuck back at it.
We 70,000 points. And a game like this one where the points easily reach into the millions and usually 1 mil plus is going to be the difference, it's not going to really bode well for either guy unless, actually, take a look at this. I missed exactly what the interaction was there, but somehow Inverse just got a 1.6 million lead. I think he might have gotten more destruction points.
Yeah, Inverse just taking a little bit of that extra lead there. So once again, starting off strong in the first half of this race.
You see why it is one of his favorite maps and certainly his preference between the two that we have here in the early preliminaries. Inverse, despite his young age, despite the limited time that he has to practice, is delivering a phenomenal performance against some really good players here.
Yeah, I mean, beating SickDuck here would mean a lot for Inverse, I think. You know, not just for the fact that he would be in the lead in this group to make it on to the next stage into the semifinals of the Desert region, but also just to say that he played better than unknown value here in this tournament. A little bit extra mishaps happening, but the points still kind of staying right around that 1 million mark.
We'll see if there's going to be any missteps coming in from Inverse. It feels like that lead just keeps compounding. There is a little bit of damage done, down to, what, minus 200,000 points in the favor of SickDuck, but he's got to do a little bit more to close the gap. Okay, speeding up right here. Inverse does miss one of these Lotus gems.
Yep, nice and clean, though, on the ball for both runners, so just still keeping right around that 1 million. And that 1 million is pretty much what the difference was for both races that we've seen so far. So we'll see if SickDuck's able to close it out here with the Ion.
Feels so good here for Inverse still. Able to maintain that 1 million point buffer. That is a big safety net.
Yeah, Inverse missing a couple of those extra Lotus gems. Look at that, made a huge difference. Now closing it down to 500K.
Yeah, that score lead, it is halved. This gives SickDuck a little bit of a chance at life here. One of the favorites coming into this tournament. So many fans in Thailand and around the world cheering for him as one of the foreign hopes. Here in the preliminaries and down to party 0-1 in this group. This is such a pivotal match. He's continuing to close the distance.
Yeah, I mean, all eyes on SickDuck trying to make sure that he gets every last bit possible. Now just slowly, already all catching it down to 70,000. It's really just back and forth depending on who's going to be ahead in the sync right now. So we'll have to watch all the way to the very end. Okay, both collecting all of those Lotus gems in the air.
We're down to a 200,000 point difference. Now 9,000 points. Are you kidding me? Usually it's 1 mil plus that decides this, but this one might come down to the basic jellies.
Yeah, it's all back and forth right now, all the way to the very end. It keeps on swapping, and the game just can't keep up right now with the calculations, collecting as many as possible, and it should be SickDuck closing it out at the end. Completely crushing it with the final extra Lotus Gem Jellies. 4 million difference right out of nowhere in the last spurt. And you know what it meant for him. He was locked in on this one, keeping his tournament run alive. Oh boy, I mean, you said that he preferred Beneath the Lilies because Boiling Stock Village was too hard.
But clearly between you and Tim, there's a little bit of a difference, and now we're getting started.
Yeah, we're starting with the Yugua Cookie on both sides, going for those bounces with the Hope Tiger Badge. Kicking things off with a nice burst of points. We'll have to keep our eyes on it, especially with this first part of the run as well. A lot focused, I mean, both cookies, quite frankly, right? A lot focused on the destruction using that skill. A little bit of an extra miss coming out from Tim, so he's gonna have to pay for that.
Got to choose your priorities here as you're navigating this tricky part of the map. Those destruction points going to be becoming a very critical issue moving forward. So far, it seems like about a 300,000 point lead for Tim on the bottom. You, of course, is on top.
Tim restabilizing here, getting those extra points during the plasma as well.
So far, pretty immaculate starts for both of these guys.
Nice hop there, making sure you time it with the Hoping Tiger Badge as well here for both runners.
Man, that point difference is just maintaining at exactly 300K this early game. Okay, I feel like a little bit of a misstep right there, potentially by you. He missed some of these gems.
We'll have to see if he can catch up. Of course, in terms of the treasure set of both, same on both sides as well, so continue to collect those photo cards. Making sure that, again, you're cycling with this map, giving you extra points with the destruction, and that compounds with the treasures.
And it seems like with Yugua, just the consensus way to approach this, there isn't too much timing going on. It seems like they're just trying to maximize utility on that thing.
Yeah, just a little bit. Some extra jellies being missed here from Tim, but overall, we are going to keep the lead just intact.
It's actually counting quite considerably aggressively right now, all the way up to 4 million. That would be one of the biggest differences that we've seen thus far, but as we move on into the stage, it is beginning to equalize. Actually, you with some really good plays right now. Gone from 4 million all the way down to 1 million, so the gap has been closed.
Yeah, moving on to the next stage of the map here. See if you can try to catch up. You kind of tournament life on the line, more or less already just on his second race here for the preliminaries.
There's so much at stake for both of these players. These best of 1 maps, there's a lot on the line. First time on stage here in day 1 of the tournament. It feels like he's fighting back. He's actually able to take a little bit of a lead here, Trobra.
Yeah, a little bit of a mishap it looked like on the bottom side for Tim, trying to keep our eyes on both screens. But you will see if he's able to keep track of this as both cookies are running forward. Gets a little bit of that extra distance here for Tim, going for that jump on the swap.
Yeah, that distance, as we've seen in previous matches, can be absolutely critical. Even if you are behind, if you get a little bit more distance, you get more opportunities to score points, and that might be the ace up Tim's sleeve here as we head into the later stages of this first part of the run.
Yeah, nice, clean jumps and smashes here from Tim, though. Making sure he destroys every single one of those dropping fireballs. Kind of keeps him in a giant status here to try to keep the lead.
Yeah, I mean, the effect of that is just absolutely massive on the score right now. It is 9 mil going on 12 mil in favor of Tim. He is absolutely locked in on this more difficult map.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just those 2 early phases that we saw here with the orange cookie. Tim kind of playing that perfectly, it seems, whereas you know, not anything crucially terrible, but not able to maximize the points that he could possibly get.
Yeah, when we play on a map like this one, it is so much more difficult to play the perfect game. There are a lot more opportunities to really flex your skills with the execution, and Tim is one of the favorites, one of the strongest players in this tournament, is really demonstrating what a player with his skills can do on a map like this one.
Yeah, and it looks like as long as he doesn't make any crazy mistakes, it should be fine. And I don't expect that to happen here with a player of the caliber of Tim, as we just have a little bit left to go.
Yeah, these coins and jellies just getting vacuumed up on both sides right now. Flawless execution thus far, and although that's very impressive for both players, it means that there isn't really any kind of difference being made between you and Tim, and that's gonna be it, man. Pretty significant point difference here, 853 million to 845. As Tim, I feel like the early game and the late game were basically even between these two, but the mid game for Tim was just so solid. Here as you representing Indonesia down 0-2, knowing that you need to win. Our match is starting now. You on the top screen, SickDuck here on bottom. You fighting for his life in this tournament.
Yeah, all eyes on you, honestly, because we want to see if he can continue to stay in this tournament. So far, a nice clean start from both sides, just a minuscule difference, but of course that will continue to calculate live as we go through this matchup.
Yeah, single jumps and double jumps pretty much perfect on both sides right now as we're into the easier early stage of this map. A little bit of a point difference right now in the favor of you. Yeah, 240K, but as many of these matches have been decided by million-plus differences, to me, it's really going to be about the more difficult mid and late stage of this map that's going to determine the victor.
Yeah, and you know, these big phases as well, with not just the larger jellies, but of course the skills coming in from the cookies as well. So once again, they're just neck and neck right now, getting the jump for the destruction here on both players.
I think both players hitting every single destruction point right there, not even really missing the jellies here on these double jumps, which can be a little bit tricky at times, even on these easier early stages.
Yep, everyone gets the Rainbow Bear jellies, completing the photo card album as well, so all the bonus points that you would want. Now,
so far, basically flawless play on both sides. Somehow SickDuck is getting actually a little bit of a lead here. I think that those destruction points just really compounding with the skill activation. But as that calms down, things do tend to equalize.
Yeah.
About a 500 point difference now.
Yeah, missing extra giant yellow bear jelly here from SickDuck.
Oh no, actually missing 2 of them.
Yeah, but we got a little trade-off on you on the top side as well, so it should equal out once again just around a 500,000 point difference. Keeping his fingers warm from SickDuck there with the slide spam.
Yeah.
Making sure that he's ready for the next phases.
Yeah, it's a good catch actually. He is spamming APM right
now
is what he's doing.
He's pumping up those stats.
All right, 1 million lead right now as we head into the very scary and hot, scorching fire stage on this map.
Now, my eyes are going to be when we swap the cookies, right? Earlier, we also saw Tim getting that extra distance on that swap, going for that double jump to make sure he just extends a little bit more the distance for the Ewok cookie.
SickDuck, he actually dropped onto the lower level. I don't think that was a strategic choice. I think that might have been just a misinput, and as a result, he's kind of blundered a little bit of his lead. He is able to make up ground again, but
we'll see once it kind of calms down with all the destruction points, though, as we do see, again, extra distance. I mean, SickDuck and Tim know exactly how to go for the swaps, but the double jumps, the smashes on the orange cookie is going to be where he has to try to catch up.
I wonder if that was part of the plan here for SickDuck to try and get more distance. As it is right now, Yu has a pretty large lead.
But we'll see if, of course, this is where we saw that build difference as well for SickDuck, doubling down on the destruction points with the orange cookie, see if he's able to catch up, and he does a lot with those destructions. Now, Yu didn't miss as many as he did in that first race, but I don't know if it's going to be able to stay in the lead. We have a couple more phases here with the orange cookie able to double down right here on those destruction points. He cashes in on all of them for SickDuck.
Those destruction points absolutely critical in this late stage. SickDuck still maintaining a 1.7 million point lead as we head into the later stages of this map.
Oh, a Rainbow Bear Jelly missed from you, I believe.
Was it really? Oh no, you cannot afford a mistake like that one. With everything on the line, that lead is going to compound now for SickDuck. The double jump's coming through. It's clutch on both sides, but is there really going to be another opportunity here for you to close the distance? We're running out of time.
Yeah, I don't think so. Obviously, going for the Yellow Bear Jellies himself for the Magic Candy as well, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get a big lead, and you got to hope that SickDuck makes a bit of a blunder, perhaps on some of these destructions, but I just don't see it happening yet.
Oh, it feels like it's still going SickDuck's way. It's gotten a little bit closer, but I mean, these destruction points are just so clutch right now for SickDuck. Still 900,000. Man, the math, it's having a hard time keeping up with everything getting collected. And that's going to be it. SickDuck is going to win. Woo, it's a closer match. I feel like man, he definitely performed better on this one, but just a couple of misplays with the pressure, with everything on the line, and that's going to be SickDuck advancing.
If Inverse wins here, we have a three-way tie to determine who of those three, which two of those three will be moving on. Versus Tim, Inverse fighting to stay alive and bring things to a tiebreaker. Tim trying to get out as the top seed of this group.
Inverse on the top screen, Tim here on the bottom. Inverse a little bit of a head start right there, so a bit of desync, but it allows you to catch the action a little bit first. You watch Inverse, see if he makes his jumps, pan right back down to Tim, see if he makes his jumps.
Yeah, we'll have to just make sure we keep that in mind when we're looking at the score difference as well. But for now, starting off fairly clean here.
Yeah, looking pretty flawless thus far. I mean, this early stage, it is the easier stage on this map. It continues to get more difficult as you progress later on, especially once the cookie handoff happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we saw the big differences in the first two races here on this map. So we'll see if that's where the difference comes down to it as well.
Yeah, just trying to follow the action right now. Looking at Inverse, looking at Tim, it feels like both players have basically navigated this flawlessly. When they just sync up, I think it's like maybe a 50,000 point difference.
Yeah, but I think just now, Tim kind of doubling down on a couple extra destruction points, if I'm not mistaken, getting that extra jump right as he goes for the Hope bounce. So
yeah,
that might be something that catches up to Inverse down the road.
Yeah, Inverse is taking a little bit of a different route on some of these double jumps, not going for every single jelly, instead preferring a different path forward. Let's see if that's going to be a boon for him or if he'll come back to bite him.
Yeah, if I had to guess, it really does feel like Tim kind of doubling down on how to maximize the points on this map, whereas Inverse perhaps taking a bit of a safer route.
Yeah, both sides actually missing some of these jellies. There's so many points at stake, and it's one of the harder jumps coming down to actually catching absolutely everything. In fact, I feel like the input needs to be completely perfect for it to happen.
Yeah, a bit of a big gap though, right? As we see Tim catching up in the race overall, about a million, somewhere around that difference already. We'll see if Inverse able to clean things up as we slowly get ready for the later part of this map.
So far, things are looking very even heading into this later stage, and this is where a lot of these points are going to be coming in terms of destruction. Once those abilities get activated, as it looks right now, considerable lead for Tim. 5 points already. If he can maintain this, we will not be having that three-way tie. He will be advancing into the next stage.
Yeah, has that first seed as well going into the semifinal. So we'll see if Inverse can he clean things up, especially as we get ready to swap. We'll see if Inverse can get the extra distance on the Cookie swap here with the double jump. We saw Tim and SickDuck both succeeding in their first times. 3, 2, 1, goes for the extra jump. Okay, Inverse lands it as well. Lands on the extra yellow bear Cookie.
And distance basically equivalent on both of these players, and Inverse has done a good job of closing the distance a little bit in terms of points, but there still is ground to make up.
See if he's able to get all of the destruction here on the fireballs landing, and not quite as clean. Tim just once again perfection, bounces off all of the tennis balls and gets a massive boost in the destruction points.
The timing, the angle, just absolutely flawless there for Tim, and that we have a lot of game left to be played, Chopra, but I feel like these moves are basically putting the game out of reach here for Inverse. It's going to take a miracle comeback if he wants to close the distance.
Yeah, and this is where you might start to see perhaps a little bit of that difference in the comfort and where you spent your time training here for Inverse, right? We've talked about how these are the active skills that you're going to have to use in this race with these cookies, with the UI and the orange cookie. And so far, Tim has shown a lot of comfort in saying, okay, even if I make 1 or 2 smaller mistakes, I know where the important parts are. It's going to be those first 2 phases with all the fireballs coming down on the screen, and he was able to make them clean on both of his runs so far.
Yeah, first time seeing Inverse here on Boiling Stock Village. You can tell it's a little bit more of a difficult map, not really playing to its strengths. Point lead just compounding right now for Tim. At moments, it's surpassing 8 mil.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for Inverse. He's still doing his best all the way to the end. Obviously, you can't be sure until the race is actually over, but we know the setup was equal even until the very end. The yellow bear jellies all being secured by Tim, and that's going to be a 10 million point difference here for Tim as he goes for a clean sweep.
Here in match number 1 of Group B, remember this is just the same format as Group A. It's going to be best of 1s. That means 1 map played between each player, and everyone is going to play everybody else at least 1 time. All right, Dalum on top, Wreath on bottom as the map is loading in. And here we go. We've seen so far here in Group A over the course of the day, players be near perfect, not just in the early game, not just in the mid game, but also in the late game. And actually, look at that though, Dalum already missing, I think, one of these Lotus Bears.
Yeah, just a bit of that difference. Of course, in the first phase, the pink bear jellies is going to make a big difference as well. Actually, a couple extra Lotus Gem jellies being missed by Wreath, so despite having the advantage of the pink bear jellies in the first phase, he's actually falling behind just because of the Lotus Gem jellies.
Yeah, missing those Lotus Gem jellies is so painful. Actually, missing another one.
It starts to add up.
Yeah, it really does. You get bonus points for those Lotus Gems here on this map, and it's so painful when you miss opportunities like that one, especially in the early stages, because now you're just fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of it so far has been just neck and neck. Both players having the exact same build in terms of their jumps here. We'll see if Wreath can find an opportunity to try to catch back up. Earlier, we did see even here with the Spanish jellies, the destruction points coming into big play between the first couple races. So we'll see trying to maximize the extra destruction that you can get, but not enough to catch up here for Wreath.
It actually feels like Dalum might have gotten a little bit more destruction points right there. In any case, he's able to maintain a 700,000 point lead now. And on a map like this one, where it's not quite as difficult, there isn't quite as much room for error, and so you don't have those big point discrepancies like we saw on the more destruction-focused map. At 700K is going to be hard, but hey, with 1 or 2 Lotus Gem jellies getting missed already, that's 400,000.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, it can always flip, especially with the Lotus Gem jellies, because that's a very big part of this map, obviously, where you're going to get a bulk of your points. You're expecting everyone else to really perfect, you know, the cookie abilities and things like that. Should see a clean double jump. Ooh, another one missed a little bit earlier here from Dalum.
Another getting missed right now.
Yeah, you can't, we haven't seen anyone get all of them, but of course, it's kind of which one you're missing in favor of trying to maximize your points here. Closing down to 400,000, destroying all the obstacles there on both sides, so no big difference just yet.
Let's see how they navigate this. On the back of the fish right now, are they going to be able to time this jump perfectly to get all these gems? Oh, actually looks like they missed one of them, perhaps one each, so about the same build right now, no big differences. Okay, they're able to get every single Lotus Gem. That was a critical jump right there.
And the extra jumps. Okay, Wreath gets a little bit further here.
He missed one jump, or one gem, excuse me, as compensation. Is that going to be enough right now? He has a lot of points to try and close the distance.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that extra distance is going to make a difference. Oh, so many missed from Dalum on the fall down. And Wreath kind of nodding his head on the camera. You know he knows that he made the better drop on that jump. I mean, that's one of those things where if you just mistime the jump, you're going to miss the entire line. That's devastating for Dalum.
Yeah, just a couple frames too late on the jump, and he misses the entire right side of those Lotus Gems. And now this is going to be a very big gap to try and overcome. Will he be able to do it? It seems like he is getting closer and closer to equalizing.
Yeah, but Wreath, he did miss one extra Lotus Gem, and what he has to remember is, yes, you were ahead by 1 million, but this can get close at any point, right? 1 million is what it ended up being in the final score difference for all the races here Beneath the Lilies.
Man, another one gets missed by Dalum.
Yeah, Wreath is staying locked in. He's not letting it get him too lax just yet, keeping that 1 million point gap so far as we near the end of this first race.
Yeah, the second half of this map gets a lot tougher than the first one. It's why you see these errors coming through as both players are sweeping on by. Are they going to be able to get every single Lotus Gem? Dalum missed one more, and Wreath made it even further. The biggest point difference that we have seen on Beneath the Lilies thus far.
As we see a Storm, and it's going to be Caramel Shoe on the right. That's how we're going to read it in English. And the point difference, not too big on the best score. And here we go.
All right, it's going to be Storm on top and Caramel Shoe on bottom as the map is loaded in. Caramel Shoe, a little bit of an earlier start, so he's the guys who have the eye on right now. Navigating this perfectly. Let's see how they're able to handle these Lotus Gem connections in the early game.
Yeah, both of them, of course, with the same blessing as well in the Magic Candy. So the Pink Bear Jellies being the main focus. Oh, missing a couple on that burst mode.
Yeah, 2 Lotus Gem Jellies missed already is quite painful, honestly, here for Caramel Shoe on bottom. I know it's hard to navigate when you're playing with that burst mode. I mean, you move so quickly across the map, but
yeah, but you got to train it, right? You just have to find a way to make sure that you're stable enough. So far, though, no extra mistakes. So it's still redeemable, right? Again, we've seen some big differences pop up in the future. Oh, an extra one missed on that landing as well, though, for Caramel Shoe.
And I've been watching Storm. I don't think he's missed a single one just yet. So he is perfect, whereas Caramel Shoe is -3 in total.
Yeah, the biggest difference that he can make without Storm making mistakes, I think, would just be, trying to get the extra distances so he can get the 1 or 2 extra Lotus Gem Jellies at the very end of the race.
It's a little hard to tell exactly who's going to have more distance thus far because, of course, Caramel Shoe loaded into the map maybe a second faster than Storm here on top. Okay. So far, it seems like they are neck and neck.
Yeah, the destruction kind of favoring Caramel Shoe in that phase, though, in the earlier phase. So just making sure that he's able to at least keep up. But I don't think it's going to be enough yet. He's going to have to make sure that his transition, I think, is perfect, assuming that neither player makes any bigger mistakes here in the first phase of the race.
Yeah, it seems like Caramel Shoe is really settled in here in the middle game. He has not missed a Lotus Gem in quite some time. And for Storm, he's still basically perfect. I feel like he hasn't gotten as many destruction points, perhaps, as his opponent. And as a result, it's neck and neck. But in terms of actually collecting the Lotus Gems, it has been very solid.
Yeah, both of them only skipping the mandatory one. They get all the rest on that line, on the lily pads, getting both on the drop as well, and dropping down onto the destruction of every obstacle so far.
Talk about a comeback for Caramel Shoe. He missed 3 of those early game Lotus Gems, and now he's up 500,000 points in total. He is absolutely locked in.
Yeah, and here we go. The first big drop. You're going to get all of them on both sides. Nice and clean.
Yeah, even the jumps and double jumps right here, I think favoring Caramel Shoe maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, distance on that transition just about the same, so not any massive difference on the final ending. And here we go. This is the big one. And both. Oh!
Ooh, one miss there for Storm.
It was looking so close. But that does give a little bit of that advantage.
Miss for Storm, though,
yeah.
Chobra.
Yeah, both of them skipping out on one on that burst, but right now for Storm, that matters because he's the one who has to catch up now.
Yeah, that disparity is continuing to grow.
Oh, no!
Quite close earlier.
Oh, no! He missed the power-up!
Oh!
He doesn't have the giant mode!
That might be everything here. He still has enough.
Okay,
Maybe you get a little bit more distance with this, actually. I wonder, is there any world where that could have been a strategic choice? Because, hey, he still has enough points.
Yeah, we'll have to see, but he's lost a lot of that lead right now, obviously ahead in terms of the sync. So we'll have to wait for the final calculation. Missing another Lotus Gem Jelly as well. Looks like Caramel Shoe might be starting to get shaky. We'll have to keep our eye on to the very end now to see what the calculation comes down into.
I wonder if there's any compensation for missing that power-up. Like, are you going to be able to get a little bit more distance at the end of the run, or is it just a complete miss? As it is right now, Caramel Shoe, he is still maintaining this lead despite missing that power-up. He loses one Lotus.
Oh no, does that come down to the difference though? It's still gonna be Caramel Shoe who is going to have the lead just a little bit. Oh, he's come prepared. I just realized his shirt as well with the Caramel Shoe cookie. Once again, Caramel Shoe now on the left side, Wreath on the right. Neck and neck with their top score once again. And we'll see who comes out on top. It's going to be match 3 in this round robin between Caramel Shoe and Wreath. Who will take the lead in this group with 10 points?
Caramel Shoe on top, Wreath on bottom. Both players basically in sync with the start time, so going to be really hard to follow the action right here. Make sure to keep your eyes glued. One on top, one on bottom if you can do it.
That would be insane. That would be insane if you could do it. Definitely leave a comment.
Oh no! Wreath.
Once again, he made the same mistake. It doesn't look like it's something that he's too used to being able to maximize. We saw that in his first race, already starting on the back foot, down 500,000 points by missing 2 of those Lotus Gem Jellies.
Right, he's able to make up a little bit more ground though. It looked like Caramel Shoe did miss one of the Lotus Gems here on that last jump, so things aren't completely lost here. It's still very early on in this map.
Yeah, you've still got some chances, both of them making sure that they maximize the pink berry jellies as well. Equal numbers on that, I believe. So it's still neck and neck, anybody's game. We'll see, of course, a big part is going to be the extra destruction you get when we see the power-up come through. Rainbow Berry Jelly secured on both sides as well.
Yeah, and I'm already thinking forward to the big drops that we're going to have later on in the mid-stage here of this map. It has been a pivotal moment for players in Group A, for players in Group B in terms of determining the winner. This is one of the smaller drops. The first one, both players able to deal with it very easily, and even with the speed boost.
Ooh.
Not missing a single Lotus Gem on either side.
Yeah, the destruction as well, equal on that first time that we see it come through. We'll see here, as we go through, if we see any bigger differences, or if it's going to come down to that second half with the Ion Robot Cookie.
Both players have been basically perfect since the early game right now. I think it might come down to those drops.
Yeah, I mean, it really could, and I'm also curious if Wreath maybe taking that different line is going to make a bit of a difference here in the later phases with the flight mode on that Ion Robot Cookie. But here we go. See if anyone misses any extra ones. An early one missed, and two missed instead of one. Little bit of an extra blunder here from Wreath. I mean, the perfection coming through for Caramel Shoe keeps him in the lead.
It wasn't even just the 2 Trobra. I thought he was missing the mandatory one earlier, and then there was an additional 2. So in total, Wreath really with a bit of a painful run over there as he jumped over the lily pads. He's going to have to make up some lost ground, hope that his opponent will miss some more.
Yeah, and one extra one missed as well. It starts to slowly compound, but I have to keep hopes because I believe Wreath was the only one who took that different line on the... Oh, an extra one missed as well, but he maximized the jump on the swap, so it should be a little bit extra distance here for Wreath. See if that is able to get him to catch up, because so far, the point difference is pretty big now.
Yeah, the point difference is so big that I kind of don't think... I kind of don't think the distance is going to matter. I feel like it's just not consequential enough as both players navigated that last drop very well.
Oh,
Another
no.
Lotus Gem. It just keeps compounding.
It's getting to him, man. It's getting to him. He's thinking about the ones he's missed. He has to be, because he didn't make as many mistakes on the first time we saw him on this map.
Oh, it's so hard with the pressure on stage. Okay, cannot miss these right now. Okay, the power-up does not get taken, so a couple of Lotus Gems are missed there, but still maintaining a 2.5 million lead.
Yeah, and we're going to see Wreath if he can try to catch up. I mean, you gotta at this point hope that Caramel Shoe makes a big blunder, because otherwise, like you said, I don't know if the extra distance makes all the difference here. And just trying to maximize all the Lotus Gem Jellies. He's doing his best, Wreath. He's kind of foregoing some of the smaller jellies just to make sure that he doesn't miss the big ones like he did on the earlier part of the run.
It makes sense. Caramel Shoe, he is missing a Lotus Jelly here and there, but overall, it really hasn't been that bad. He's still maintaining this lead. Another big speed boost coming in, but of course, being able to vacuum up all of these gems hasn't been an issue. Both players missing the mandatory one here. That's going to be the drop-in. Wreath will be going... not undefeated here in this one, man. It was looking good for him in the early game, but Caramel Shoe with the victory. Such a sprint. You have 3 maps. You've got to win probably 2 of them if you want to advance into He's already up 1-0 right now, and he's looking for a pretty good run here.
All right, kicking off with the Yuba Cookie, of course, on both sides. Now we'll see as we continue on if we're going to see any big differences. Right now, neck and neck, of course, pretty straightforward in the starting point of this map.
Yeah, looking quite good on both sides. Storm on top, of course, Dalum on bottom. And we've seen basically the navigation here in the early game be pretty good for, I think, basically everybody thus far. There's some minor discrepancy at the points right now. I think it's 140,000 in favor of Dalum, but it's really the later stages of this map that decides who is going to be winning and who is going to be losing.
Yeah, I mean, I think really the Yuba Cookie section, as we see a little bit of craziness happen, but the Yuba Cookie section is fairly drilled for most of the runners that we've seen so far. But when it comes to the Orange Cookie, that's when you actually have to have really good intentional timing. We did see a nice jump there to throw out the Hope Tiger badge once more. We saw some of the races miss that in Group A, but so far, they're basically the same score right now.
Yeah, it's near identical. 26,000 or 100,000 is almost a wash. I feel like the closest win that we've had has been about 500K.
Yeah, I mean, this is identical. It might have, at this rate, it comes down to some of the basic jellies. If we keep up with this, and we are going to see everyone pick up the large yellow bear jelly, so it should be still equal. One missed from Storm, but about equalizes. So a slight gap, but still it's under 500K.
Yeah, one more does get missed there by Dalum. He's still leading with 78,000 right now. Honestly, it might come down. If these players keep playing like this, it might come down to the basic jellies. They have been so solid. It feels like one of the most perfect runs we've seen here in the beginning.
Yeah, this is going to be intense. And again, we saw it in the earlier races. It's when you switch to your relay to that Orange Cookie as we enter the second area of this race.
This is the danger zone right now, and this is also where those destruction points are really going to get important too.
Yeah, it does look like Dalum missed a couple of extra destruction points to maximize the points he's getting from his Chop Cell bundle there for the treasure. So that might have been a big difference maker as well.
No!
As we see a bit of a slip up here from Dalum.
Yeah, that's painful here for Dalum. The game was neck and neck, but now what, a 5 million lead there for a moment. Okay, the score is updating. It might not be that substantial, but for Dalum, that is a painful blow. And now Storm, it's all about playing defense right now. You just got to lock in. You could afford a little bit of room for error. You have a buffer zone right now. You're leading by 5 million points.
Yeah, I mean,
just stay solid.
Yeah, I think the treasure and then plus the extra mistakes here coming in from Dalum really start to compound. Dalum trying to get as many, but he doesn't. And on that last jump, he's missing a bit more. That brings the gap a bit larger as well. Storm not greeting as much, but going for a safer route on those destructions.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense right now. You know you have that extra 5 million to play with. Just be safe. Just make sure you don't make any mistakes. Destruction's coming in. Near flawless. Actually flawless right now for Storm. He's doing such a great job.
I mean, but like you said, he just doesn't need to greed, right? It's okay if you don't get every single destruction as long as you don't make mistakes. As long as you're not missing the important jellies. I mean, Storm, this is completely in the bag for him.
He's able to get every single star jelly right now, but the destruction point damage just isn't there. Minus 6.8 million.
Oh,
the energy is getting closer and closer to 0.
Yeah, we'll try to do whatever he can, but there's not really many opportunities left either, right? A lot of the big burst in destruction comes from that earlier part when you first relay onto the Orange Cookie. And Dalum will try to catch up, but there's still so much room to cover.
I just don't think there's enough map left for him to close the distance. Even if he plays perfectly from here on out, Storm has been rock solid. That lead, it is not going anywhere at Chobra.
Oh, man.
4.8 million in the advantage of Storm.
Oh, boy. I mean, again, the kind of two big blunders in the right before we're switching over to the orange. So we'll have to see if Wreath was able to brush up on it after he submitted his bio here. If it's been a little bit more cleaned up, he also got to see just Storm.
Both of these players fighting for their tournament life right now. You do not want to drop a second matcher in this stage. You want to join Caramel Shoe in that playoff bracket.
All right, once again, just simple starts here in the very beginning, but we'll start to see a couple of the important parts where you're gonna have to make sure you time that jump to get the extra destruction. Yeah,
these single jumps and double jumps relatively easy here on both sides. You see the All these coins, not really missing any jellies.
Yeah.
20,000 point difference is basically nil. That's like one of these basic jellies,
Yeah,
maybe two.
It's a big, I mean, it's still a big race right now as we constantly see it flip back and forth. Now, Wreath does seem to be taking a little bit more liberties just to make sure he's getting the important jellies and make sure that he's utilizing everything from the treasures as well.
It's looking very solid on both these sides. Storm with a little bit of a lead right now heading into this section of the map.
Yeah, both of them getting that jump on the destruction. And so that's going to give Wreath a nice opportunity to try to get the lead and now extend it as well. Just getting that ever so slight difference on the jump to make sure that the Hope bounce gets the extra points.
Yeah, these guys both just getting every single one of the big jellies. Destruction points coming in. It actually seems like it favors Wreath quite a bit. 1.5 million after that exchange is done. It looked very similar on the screen, but the actual result is so much better for Wreath, Chobra.
Yeah, just one or two of those jumps and the destruction coming in from the Hope badge really favored Wreath. He's actually extending it ever so more, just continuing to make sure that he times it perfectly. Whereas Storm, he's gonna have to do a little bit more catch-up.
Yeah, some of those bear jellies even got missed there for Storm, and that's compounding the problem right now is we're getting closer and closer. Usually it's more close, it's neck and neck as you head into the second stage. If Storm wants to come back in this one and deliver another win, he is going to need to get so many destruction points.
Yeah, we'll see. He played pretty safe with the orange cookie after the relay in that first matchup, but right now, since he's behind, he's gonna have to make sure he gets the maximum amount of points that you want, especially as both of them have the blessing on the magic candy with the orange cookie for the destruction points. It comes down to that. Storm right now just focusing on playing clean, but when you get that relay, when you get to that timing, you've got to be locked in.
And none of these big jellies missed thus far. Everyone playing this near perfection. As once the trade-off happens, once we swap in the next cookie, destruction points are going to be all that matters.
Yeah.
1.6 million difference. That is salvageable here for Storm.
It absolutely is, especially if Wreath isn't perfecting the combos. He said that he wasn't used to it. He already missed one more extra giant yellow bear jump. What do you mean you don't know the combos, Wreath? What do you mean? What do you mean?
A little bit too humble, dude. That was pretty well executed. All the way up to 2.8 mil right now. That combo is near perfection, if not already it. These jumps have been good. He's hitting all the destruction points as well. Dude, he doesn't miss.
He's getting as many as he can, right? I mean, is he the best on this map? Maybe not, but for someone who says he doesn't know the combos, oh, I don't think so. I think you've put in the time after you've submitted your bio.
He has absolutely worked on that aspect of the game. So many more destruction points coming in. That lead, it keeps getting better. And it's not even like Storm is making a lot of mistakes. It's just that Wreath is so locked in.
Yeah, again, that big burst, you know, on that first phase with the orange cookie where you're able to get all the fireballs as they come down. I think that's such a difference maker on this map. As we continue to see it, I mean, we are going to see perhaps some opportunities, but no, it's going to be Wreath still not able to make any giant mistakes, and there's really not that much more room unless you run into an obstacle at this point. I think he should be fine.
Storm, he is fighting back, but Wreath is just a little bit too solid. That is going to be an 11 million point win here for Wreath.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not buying anything on his bio anymore. Like this. All right, well, let's see. Dalum, can he throw a wrench into Caramel Shoe's plan? It's left side. That's going to be Caramel Shoe, his ID in Korean. Last match of the round robin right now.
Caramel Shoe on top, Dalum on bottom as the game is loading in. Synchronized start right now. Keep your eyes glued, both sides of the screen. Let's see who's going to take the early lead.
It should just be fairly equal here. We haven't seen too many missteps in that first phase. Fairly straightforward. But we're going to have one or two phases here where you want to try to, yeah, there you go. Just the big jump forward. Okay, bit of a drop on the signal. It should be coming back.
Okay, just a signal.
No worries, no worries.
I got a little bit spooked there, Chobra.
I was a little scared.
Oh, man.
But I have to pretend that I know that it's going to be okay.
Your confidence inspired me back to...
Exactly. There you go.
All right, well, here in this early game, I feel like Caramel Shoe's getting a little bit of a better treat. No, actually, look at that. Dalum. Okay, well, it keeps swapping over. It's so close. It is neck and neck. 500K, 500K.
Ooh, okay, going for the extra destruction there. That was pretty big from Dalum, but not enough to make sure that he's going to consistently be on top as we do see the scores trying to catch up to the calculations. But overall, we should be fairly close so far. It did look like Dalum had a little bit more on the destruction, but I think Caramel Shoe going for it just a bit later.
Yeah, honestly, if the point difference is like 500K getting out of this early stage, I don't think there's very much you can read into it. A lot of this comes down to what happens in that later stage of the map when the destruction points are really up for grabs on both sides.
Yeah, mostly getting all the big, giant yellow bear jellies as well on both sides.
Couple getting missed right now. With that drop, able to get every single one. That is well played on both sides. 800,000 point lead. No, what is that? 40? It just keeps changing, man. It's hard to keep tabs. It's so close.
Honestly, below a million, though, especially as we get ready for the big burst coming in once the relay swap happens. I think that's what it's going to come down to. As long as neither player is, maybe well over a million difference, it's going to be anybody's game as we now enter the second area of this race.
Yeah, destruction points going to be absolutely key here. Everyone nailing the single jumps thus far. Still neck and neck.
Okay, just going for that destruction there on the jump as well, chaining that in for the maximum amount of points.
Caramel Shoe actually pulling a little bit ahead. One of those big jellies missed by Dalum. That's going to be 1.7 million in the favor of Caramel Shoe. And maybe even getting a couple more destruction points is Caramel Shoe. Look at this lead just balloon up.
Yeah, it should stabilize once that sprint ends, but it is still going to be a little bit sizable. 3 million, but now, can we see Dalum with the 10,000 extra points on destruction? Can that blessing pay off as we look at the orange cookie?
I mean, 10,000 points is a lot on destruction, but is it going to make up a near 15? What is this, 15 million point gap for a moment right there? We're sinking back up so that it is going to drop all the way down. It is getting considerably closer. Dalum, he is making progress. He's making headway, but I don't know if he's going to have enough time.
I mean, at this point, it's not just him playing perfect, but you have to hope that a mistake comes through from Caramel Shoe, because Dalum, I believe, played that first phase more perfectly, but not enough, as Caramel Shoe still able to keep up. Dalum's trying his best to minimize the difference, but it just isn't enough.
Yeah, all these jumps have been perfect so far by Caramel Shoe, even getting all the big jellies, all the small jellies. He's getting everything every which way. This guy is near flawless here on the second stage. Double jumps coming in with the size up as well. Well played on both sides, but for Dalum, you don't want it to be well played on both sides. You need to create some kind of discrepancy. Unfortunately, Caramel Shoe just a little bit too solid.
Yeah, and from here on out, Caramel Shoe, of course, with the Yellow Bear Jelly bonus points, and just continues to have that stability as well. Not many opportunities for big mistakes. We haven't really seen anyone go for big blunders in this last phase, so I don't think we're going to see much more coming out from Dalum. He'll still do his best to the very end. The run doesn't stop until you run out of energy, but it's just not going to be enough. Caramel Shoe should be able to lock in the 3-0 sweep in this group with a giant 11 million points ahead of Dalum. And there you have it, the celebration. Oh, no celebration this. Oh, he wanted to take it out of his pockets. There you go.
Caramel Shoe.
Him and SickDuck going up against Caramel Shoe in first in Group B, and Wreath coming in as that second seed. So that's the bracket. Tim versus Wreath. I mean, this is going to be a bit of a David and Goliath, I think, just because of how dominant Tim looked.
Tim versus Wreath. Tim, #1 seed out of Group A, went undefeated. Wreath, 2-1 overall. Honestly, pretty impressed by Wreath, but Tim really stole the show in Group A. All right, it's terrifying. Bear Jelly Forest, all about those yellow bear jellies. And the bitter bear jellies, you gotta watch out for them because you get absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and of course, we'll see the rocks being blown away with the hammer to try to maximize the points.
So far, pretty much flawless starts on both sides.
Yeah, both going for a slightly different timing on the drop, but at the end of the day, it's going to be Tim coming out on top a little bit there. Just ever so slightly. And it's neck and neck anybody's game right now. It just comes down to whoever makes the first mistake.
Ooh, no.
Took the bitter jelly!
You can see him, he's talking to himself a little bit on stage, not happy with the way that one went. That is minus 8 mil right now in total.
That's a rough one. You have to really thread the needle on that jump. Well, Wreath, I mean, we'll see if he's going to have an opportunity to bring it back. It's such a crushing blow right now. Still avoiding the rest, though. Right now, he's still staying focused, right? You still have a lot of the race left to go. You never know. I mean, Tim might make a big mishap as well.
Yeah, with so many bitter bear jellies, you gotta watch out. This is a dangerous area to be in right now, but both players navigating it perfectly. Dodges shurikens too. Well done on both sides. They make it look so easy.
Yeah, weaved that one. Doesn't take an extra hit here for Wreath, so he's still been able to regain since that mishap. Even gets the second one there right at the edge. So right now it's just looking like it might come down to that one big mistake, but we'll have to keep our eyes on both players because Tim right now looking comfy, and this is that situation where Tim can start to play a little bit safer, right? He knows that he just has to stay in the lead rather than have to continue to expand the lead.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught with your hand in the cookie jar in a situation like Tim's. You want to maintain this lead, don't get too greedy. 7 mil is a lot of buffer, even on a map like this one, heading into the later stages.
Yeah, right now just collecting everything that you can. It continues to stay at that 7 mil mark. Oh.
Man, another miss there for Wreath, I think.
Yeah.
He might have been opting for the distance. I'm not sure if that was a choice or if it was just a misstep, but in any case, still a 7 million point lead right now here for Tim. Now the points are really racking up. Both players surpassing 600 mil right now as we have the baton handoff going into the latter stage.
Yeah, and you just see the rest of these all being hit by Wreath, so it hurts even more to know that it was that one big blunder in the beginning. But it's not over just yet.
Wreath still fighting as best he possibly can.
Firing off all the dessert jellies as well. Still keeping eyes on all the bitter bear jellies. But I mean, unless Tim gives him room, I don't know if Wreath is going to be able to catch up right now. I mean, Tim is just playing too clean. Okay, Tim actually kind of takes one hit, but again, the gap is so big. It brings it down to, 5 mil, but that's not going to really cut it, is it?
Yeah, man, Tim with a really solid win like that one. Wreath, bit of an error in the early game. Tim, very few false steps, just able to carry it home, and he made it look so easy. All right, the map is loading in right now. Tim, he has been perfect thus far in this tournament, just looking so absolutely dominating. Can he continue his miracle run undefeated streak in this best of 3?
Yeah, we've got all the little zip lines here as well, so that's going to be another point. I mean, this is just such a mechanically challenging run that you're going to have to do.
But make it look so easy, but the mechanics to be able to go on those zip lines, do the drop downs, get the jellies on top, get the jellies on bottom. It's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, I mean, your eyes have to be a lot busier. Get the quick drop there. Okay, gotta be able to secure them as they go through. Draws it in with the magnet.
Every single star jelly. Oh no, I jinxed it. 3 of them go down there for Wreath.
Yeah, that's a big caster curse in play there. Wreath kind of missing those. Still trying to get whatever pass-through points he can as well. It's still not a crazy gap as we saw in the first one, but it's already a pretty sizable difference.
Yeah, and against the Tim, who has been so rock solid this entire day. As Wreath now, you gotta be kind of crossing your fingers and hoping that he will make some mistake. Now, both players are navigating this very tricky next section of the map very well. No star jellies missed just yet. They have to deal with those obstacles. Indeed, they do. A couple of basic jellies mixed there for Wreath. It's not the biggest of deals, but in a situation like this one, you need every possible point you can get.
Yeah, he's actually maximizing all the pass-through points as well, though, to try to make sure that he's staying in the game. So I think this is still doable for Wreath for now.
Yeah, but ultimately, if Tim is just this solid, I'm not sure how you're going to be able to close the distance. You need Tim to make a false move if you want to try and come back to this one. And there still is a lot of map left to be played.
And just on that one as well, it looks like a couple extra of the pass-throughs missed here from Wreath, but still staying within that 1 million point difference. But again, I think now we have to start looking at Tim and just talk about how just consistent he looks across all the different maps that we've seen.
Yeah, my eyes have just been locked on him, and he is near perfect. It is a sight to behold right now. Absolutely the player to beat in this tournament thus far.
And that's a little bit extra missed there on the pass-through as well with the bat, and then another jelly missed on the Rainbow Star Jelly. It's starting to compound here for Wreath. It's starting to get to him. He's starting to slip away, but still a decent amount left here on the race.
My eyes are locked onto Tim right now. He hasn't missed a single star jelly, I'm pretty sure. This has just been an impeccable run thus far. All these star jellies getting caught on both sides right now with the speed up.
Yeah, and you see again, I mean, Tim maximizing all the pass-through points every time he's in bat form, but meanwhile,
oh no! Damage coming in right there on Wreath, his energy bar.
Yeah, he wanted to maximize the pass-through, but he missed the first jump, and that cost him falling into more obstacles.
You just can't afford a mistake like that one. Tim is going to get even extra distance right now, and I feel like the win is all but inevitable. We are going to have the pass off into the skater. Maybe this is where Wreath can stage his comeback, but it's going to be an uphill battle, Chobra.
Yeah, but you look at this, you're still in the Vampire 4 for Tim because of that energy lost by Wreath, because he hit the obstacles. I mean, he'll do his best, but he knows that this is more or less over. At this point, it's about Tim perhaps putting fear into his future opponents by seeing how high of a score he can get.
Yeah, just play for glory. It doesn't matter. You're playing to be the best person you can be in a situation like this one. And Tim, his performance thus far has just been so incredible.
Yeah, I mean, right now my eyes are glued on Tim's screen.
Tim with a big expression right there. Perhaps wasn't expecting that move go quite the way it did, but still the recovery is very well done. And I would just be optimizing for all of these star jellies right here on the zip lines.
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, the race doesn't stop, the run doesn't stop. You have to keep running if you're Wreath, but you're starting to kind of glance at that number on the right side, and you know it's over. You're just going for your own pride. And meanwhile, Tim, he just has to play safely, and it will end there. A big blunder in both maps here for Wreath, and it costs him his tournament run, as Tim will be qualifying to go on to the World Finals in 1 month's time for the CookieRun OvenBreak World Championship. Given the performance they've shown us so far, but SickDuck coming in as the second seed from Group A. Meanwhile, the undefeated Caramel Shoe on the right side from Group B.
Caramel Shoe here on bottom. The map is loading in, and our Cookie runners are off.
Yeah, you can't be spamming the jump like you normally do. Got to get rid of that muscle memory. Caramel Shoe saving a couple extra jumps, not to greed on the early jellies, but saving it for later in the run.
There's one smart Cookie man recognized this is a resource. He doesn't want to take too many risks early on.
Yep, making sure that they're able to identify the obstacles as well, get rid of those ninjas.
3 more jumps saved right now here for SickDuck, and still a lot of points on the board in total.
Yeah, just a couple of the extra basic jellies being missed here, though, from Caramel Shoe, and that might make a difference on some of these air jump runs that you have to get.
Yeah, especially with the candies coming in, getting a bonus for every single one of these simple jellies. Usually they aren't that impactful, but in a situation like this one with the loadouts these players are running, they are critical. Both players able to nail that double jump and the drop.
Yeah. Still making sure that Caramel Shoe, you're gonna have to try to get as many of those leaves as possible, but still falling a little bit behind as he's not able to maximize the points. We see SickDuck kind of cleaning up all the leaves falling.
Yeah, honestly, SickDuck, with every single one of these sections, it feels like he is inching further and further ahead.
Oh, okay, cleans it up here from Caramel Shoe, but still a giant difference there as SickDuck just charges ahead, maximizing the value he's getting.
It's kind of unbelievable what we're seeing out of SickDuck right now. I mean, a 1.3 million point lead this early, it's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Now, some progress is being made, but you have to keep in mind the jumps here are going to be a resource. We're already down past half of them. 140 jumps remaining in the bag for both these players.
I am curious, as we haven't really seen Caramel Shoe have to use those extra jumps that he saved early on. So I'm wondering when he's going to be able to double down on them. Is that just a safety net, or does he have a plan later on in the map?
Yeah, it's a very big question because he is down 200,000 points, but I don't know, are 3 extra jumps later in the stage going to be worth those 200,000 points? That's the real question.
Yep. Okay, able to clean up all the memories. A little bit of a difference there. Here coming in.
Yeah, stopping at basically the same distance right now, so mirrored in that way.
Now we switch over to the Cinnamon Cookie. The jump's starting to run out for SickDuck.
SickDuck missing a couple of these basic jellies. Who on that drop, not the best.
Yeah,
both players, I mean, it's so tough in a situation like this one, right? To execute this completely perfectly.
Yeah. Okay, picks up all the car jellies as well. Caramel Shoe still has 1 or 2 extra jumps in the bank, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. The bonus was so big on the relay swap from SickDuck.
All cards collected. Once again, SickDuck, it feels like he hasn't really been missing that many of these basic jellies thus far, especially here on this jump. Okay, really nice finish there for Caramel Shoe. That's going to put a dent into the lead. of SickDuck, but still there's a mountain to climb, 2+ million points.
Yeah, and I really think it's sometimes just coming down to some of these, extra leaves being missed from Caramel Shoe.
And we're out of jumps now, both players. I mean, they distributed them perfectly, right? No more jumps in the bank. That's going to be it. The time has run out, and SickDuck is going to take game number 1.
So the 3 extra jumps, 2 extra jumps, it doesn't really come in handy. We're not seeing it. It seems like that might have just been a safety net that Caramel Shoe wanted in case he needed an emergency save.
Let's get into it, man. The map is loading in. SickDuck on top, Caramel Shoe on bottom. Caramel Shoe fighting for his tournament life.
Yeah, starting off with the Vampire Cookie, immediately going into that bat form, of course, and we see the zip lines as well. I mean, so many things to watch for as we're looking at both of them trying to maximize the pass-through on those early objects and making sure that they stay on those lip lines, not missing any of the Rainbow Star Jellies. Obviously, that's the big point contention, but earlier we saw you want to try to get the edge, you got to get the pass-through points.
Yeah, it's 120K points approximately for each one of these Star Jellies additional. That is the main feature on this map. You got to really maximize those points if you want to maintain a lead and have a chance, especially against an opponent like SickDuck here.
Yes, both of them looking very clean, neck and neck, just 100, 200K difference going back and forth depending on the jump, both hitting all the pass-throughs they need, but that is keeping Caramel Shoe just a bit ahead. It's going to be a couple of those basic jellies making a difference for now.
Absolutely neck and neck. Pretty easy for both these fellas to be able to connect with these jellies here. I am more interested in the later stages on this one as we add in some more obstacles. Will they be able to navigate it correctly? Because things can get dangerous very quickly. The earlier stage on this map, it's not that difficult, but optimizing. It's hard to walk the fine line between greed and safety.
And we see it again, the build difference coming in, and SickDuck keeping a nice, healthy lead now with 1 million. And so it is on Caramel Shoe. He's going to start to feel that pressure. See if he can bring it back now, catching up once more.
More Star Jellies getting taken here. SickDuck maintaining that lead for now. Oh no, actually Caramel Shoe, maintaining that lead for now. More normal jellies coming in, able to connect with basically all of them.
And earlier on that run with the bat as well, Caramel Shoe making sure that he gets the pass through, even there on the landing, not making a big mistake. Just barely staying ahead. This is going to be neck and neck. We're already past kind of the first half run here.
This is one of the closest matches that we've seen thus far, with everything on the line right now for Caramel Shoe. He is absolutely delivering.
Gets most of them. Might have been one extra obstacle going through for SickDuck on that pass through, but we'll have to keep an eye on. I mean, when it's below 500K, it really just can come down to one extra jump, one extra jelly, so we'll have to keep our eye on it as the score continues to update live during this run.
All right, drop down coming in, able to dodge those obstacles. Perfectly navigated on both sides. To make sure that you're getting as many as possible here for Caramel Shoe, but not enough. Okay, he's able to stay alive. He does not hit the collision this time. He's staying alive, so going better than Wreath earlier, still keeping his life alive here in this run. This is unbelievably close. 300,000 point difference this late in the run. Both players are near flawless right now. SickDuck, again, if he wins this one, he's going to the finals. Oh, this is so close, and neither of them look like they're ready to make any big mistakes here. This is going to be the last big run with the Vampire Cookie. Getting all the Star Jellies, the Rainbow Star Jellies, hits them all. So far, this one might come down to the Skater Cookie. I think it's going to. Close. All right, they are going to transition at exactly the same place. Both of the same amount of energy. Still less than 1 million points separating either player. Can they navigate this difficult ladder section of the map? All right, making sure they pick. I mean, it's coming down to all the little jellies as well. Caramel Shoe has to think about that, but he can't think too hard. You can't overthink this. You have to play your own game. Both of them hitting all the Star Jellies on those drops. Now, up and down, up and down. You got to dodge those fishes, but you got to focus on the Star Jellies as well. Yeah, Caramel Shoe is doing about as best as you could possibly hope for right now. He's not missing anything. I am just locked in on watching him, and you see him play perfectly, but at the end of the day, it's the same amount of points. SickDuck is just going toe-to-toe. It might even come down to just being able to extend the energy just a little bit here. A little bit extra miss here from Caramel Shoe. Is that going to be what makes the difference? He needs to find a way to catch up, but it might have to just rely on SickDuck making a mistake. Oh, I can't believe how close this is right now. All right, Star Jelly's coming in. Everyone's able to get the connections. Okay, these jumps, the basic jellies, they really do matter in a situation like this one. Normally, they don't, but what?
Just a bit short.
200,000 jellies are the difference. Unbelievable, coming all the way down to the wire, and SickDuck is going to advance to the finals. 200,000 points.
Oh,
first match of the night. It's going to be the last match of the night. Tim, undefeated thus far. Not even SickDuck could take him down. Not only is that #1 seed on the line here from Roubaix Chobra, but a lot of pride.
The top spot out of the Desert Region Preliminaries.
All right, the 5-star map is loading up. Tim on the top screen, SickDuck down on bottom, and let's get this thing started.
All right, again, every single jelly counts, and we're starting to see a bit of the differences start to pan out depending on how early you're going for those jumps. Almost perfectly in sync as well, so we should be able to trust it for the most part. Weaving in between all the trees.
Yeah, it's very difficult to do. The rate at which these cookies are progressing across the map, and then the timing of these jumps, it has to be perfect. Every jelly matters so much, and thus far, I mean, SickDuck kind of out of the gates looking really good. It's still a very close run, though.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like SickDuck has really been able to min-max some of these earlier jumps, but what we've been praising Tim for is the consistency that he's had for the entire run on every single map. So far, only a 300,000 difference. You consider the 55K extra you're getting for every single jelly collected, that is a non-issue so far.
Yeah, being consistent here might be the difference maker for both of these players. Continue on. Those scores have been identical. It's a 360-point difference. Okay, on those jumps right there, I think a little bit better potentially for Tim. Yeah, that lead dropping all the way down to 223. It's hard to exactly parse how many of these jellies get picked up when there's so many on the screen like that. Oh, on the drop, SickDuck missed 3.
Yeah, and that, again, not only are they bear jellies, but it's that extra bonus that you're getting from the map. So now suddenly, just off of that, another full line missed on those flying by. And now suddenly SickDuck nearly 1,000,000 points behind.
These drops are crucial. SickDuck cannot afford to miss any drops again. He has to be perfect from here on out if he wants to close the distance, because Tim has been so consistent.
And now trying to just stay in range, which he is doing. They will have more chances as well once we switch over to the Princess after the relay. But for now, focusing. You want to still, ooh, extra ones missed as well, but still just keeping in range as we now go for the relay.
I think SickDuck might have a little bit more distance. It's hard to tell with these two neck and neck like this, but you have to keep that in mind here at the end of the map as we continue progressing.
Yeah, and SickDuck, the numbers probably starting to get to him, but he has to just stay focused on what's coming up ahead. He has to make sure he collects every single last piece on the map. And he's trying to stay in range. You got to maximize these jumps, but I think he's just falling 1 or 2 jellies behind, which starts to compound just a little bit. Oh no!
Tim taking a little bit of damage right there. His energy, if SickDuck wasn't further along already, he certainly is now. Oh man, having that extra energy might be what SickDuck needs to overcome.
I mean,
this
that's
deficit.
Huge. That is massive on a map like this. We'll see if SickDuck can really just stay calm to try to maximize it at the end. He's not quite sure of exactly what happened on the other side.
Oh no, not again!
Tim!
Not like this, Tim.
Does he finally falter?
We've been praising his consistency all day today, but here in the final match, it is SickDuck who is keeping Keen under the pressure. He is not succumbing to the deficit on points. He is not taking any hits on this 5-star map. Tim has taken 2 on the chin already.
Yeah, I mean, right now you can see the energy difference is noticeable. And SickDuck is going to realize that once he gets towards the end, he just has to stay calm. He can't think about the numbers right now because what, unbeknownst to him, he can keep going and he will take the lead on this first map, giving Tim his first map loss in the Desert Region Preliminaries.
Wow, the 5-star map. You can see what a challenge that map is, and all that little ceremony there by SickDuck. He knows. Tim on top, SickDuck on bottom as the map has begun, and once more, this is not the map that SickDuck wants to play. Will he be able to overcome this adversity?
So far, a nice clean start from both players. Maximizing the points from the peppercorn as well with the smoke bombs.
So far, every giant bear jelly collected. That'll get trickier and trickier as the map continues to roll on.
Collecting all of them as well. Nice and easy for these players here on the early parts. And again, being able to jump through, throwing those smoke bombs nice and far ahead, collecting all those extra pepper points.
Thus far, it's very close. The jump's been really good. No damage taken just yet, even though this is a really treacherous path to be walking.
Jeez, all right, not missing a single one of these. It's neck and neck. I mean, what a showing from both players so far.
53K difference is completely negligible, excuse me, here, and I'm not sure, really, if either of them is going to be missing one of these giant bear jellies over the entirety of the map. They have been so flawless thus far.
Yeah, I mean, it looks so nice and clean so far from both of them. I hesitate because I'm afraid of giving the good old caster curse to either of these runners.
I have no fear.
But, I mean, we are looking at an absolute neck-and-neck matchup so far.
Let the curse come.
Okay, one missed, I believe, from one of the runners from SickDuck, but perhaps still keeping in the lead, equalizing out.
Yeah, this is very close right now.
Yeah, that does make the difference, though. Gives Tim a bit of the edge. That earlier one missed on that burst forward.
It's 1,000 points for every single one. You want that count to be as high as possible. It's really hard to walk through these fires. Tim playing it a little bit more conservatively, didn't go for that last one on the bottom, instead dodging the flame. So his lead is going to shrink. It's actually now 60,000 point lead for SickDuck. It is unbelievably close.
This is a bit insane from both of these. Nice and calm, though.
Slides just flawless. The jump timings as well. It is so tricky.
Making sure that you're getting all the value from your pepper smokes as well.
More giant bear jellies getting collected. I think maximum we've had maybe one missed overall this run. It's really been a clinic.
Yeah, but the thing is unless you see the other runner also miss one, it just, like we said, it just starts to compound as you go forward.
It's all about the count. A couple of basic jellies here missed by SickDuck, but that is not the main story right now. He has a big lead. He's playing it safe. Now, who has more distance here? We're running out of energy on the initial Cookie. It seems like a little bit more distance, actually considerably more distance here for Tim. I wonder if that's going to net him some more points.
Yeah, but I think he might have just missed one more large bear jelly, so that might come into play as well, as we see the points continuing to be a massive difference here for SickDuck.
I think you're absolutely right. Certainly didn't miss one more jelly. I'm not sure if even a little bit of extra distance is going to make up for that lost ground.
Yeah, we'll have to keep tabs on that if that is what makes or breaks this game. Now on to the cherry.
And thus far, looking really clean. 3 million point lead here for SickDuck as we enter the twilight of this map. SickDuck already leading this best of 5, 1-0. If he can go up 2-0 versus a Tim who was until this point undefeated, it would be huge.
That would be an absolute statement from SickDuck.
Oh, both of them, I think, missing one of these giant bear jellies.
Having to skip out on one of them, but we'll see. Now, of course, with the cherry cookie, I mean, as usual, collisions cost you a lot, but it's going to cost you even more as you'll lose the speed as well, as they continue to go faster and faster for the remainder of this run.
Both players able to collect all these giant bear cookies. Can they do it again? Yes, they can. The jumps are good. Now a little bit of a drop here and then a double jump. They get that one too.
Oh, one more miss from Tim. He knows. You saw it on the camera. Gives a little tilt of the head. He knows he's been behind. He couldn't afford the mistakes, but that is an extra 1,000 points being added to the bonuses. So that's a massive loss this late into the run for Tim.
It's just absolutely devastating right now. Unless we have some super bears get missed here. Some giant bears get missed by SickDuck. All right, he runs out of energy. Is there going to be enough energy for Tim to close the distance?
Oh, it is!
He does! By 600, he can't believe it!
Oh no,
he can't believe it!
The final drop!
The extra distance, it did matter in the very end. Tim, he turns it around. He ties up the series 1-1 by 600,000 points. We were wondering.
And now it's time to jump here in TBD.
Both players need 2 more map wins to win the day and get that #1 seed into the finals.
Right, of course, heavy focus on the giant bear jellies as well.
Yeah, Plus 1,000 for each giant bear jelly collected here on on one feature of TBD. Plus 200,000 points.
Yeah, just
it's
big bonuses. Yeah, big bonuses, and of course even bigger here for those rainbow bear jellies. So just staying in the air. Again, it's all about making sure that you time your drops and your jumps together to make sure you're in line to collect every big bear jelly.
Yeah, the jumps are through the roof right now on both these guys as they navigate. Ooh, I think Tim actually might have missed one of these big bears.
Yeah, starting to fall behind just a little bit, but still keeping in range right around 1 million. We'll see as SickDuck continues on forward, looking very calm and stable. Tim regaining just a little bit.
Yeah, it is still neck and neck though. There's a little bit of perhaps a desync between them in terms of exactly the pace. Is it really a 2 million point lead for Tim? For a moment I thought that was just, one player being a little bit ahead of the other in terms of their game engine, but
yeah, it looks like right now SickDuck's sitting pretty comfortable in the lead for the time being.
yeah,
but
keep
again,
switching around.
Yeah, with again the big bonuses, obviously one extra mistake it could flip at any point. I mean, earlier we thought SickDuck had one of the runs in the bag, and Tim closes it out with a clutch at the end.
Yeah, this has been very good here for SickDuck. And man, you weren't kidding, Trevor. He is really good at this map. Now up to 2 million in total on the lead. We're maybe about a third of the way through this trial. Can he keep it up? Gets the Rainbow Giant Bear as well. Both players navigating this very well here in the middle stage.
Yeah, I mean, the early difference just continuing to keep SickDuck in the lead, and unless he makes a mistake, I don't know how confident Tim is feeling for his chances right now.
Yeah, SickDuck, besides the final moments in map number 2, has been very consistent over the course of this best of 5 series, and he's demonstrating that again here.
Ooh, perfect line from both of them to make sure they collect all of them, and not a single one missed here.
Very impressive stuff on both sides. Those jumps not easy to time perfectly like this.
Just making sure that you're keeping warmed up on those jumps. Back into another jumping section.
Between the cogs, collect all of these big bear jellies, and both players are doing it really well, but for Tim, you kind of need to create some discrepancy. You need SickDuck to have some mistake or some misstep, because otherwise a 2 million point gap is just a little bit too hard to close.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like right now SickDuck is feeling very, very comfortable, and I do think part of it is going to be how he's used these beams as well to get some extra points, the extra destruction as well, to stay in the lead.
Okay, gonna reset right here, running out of energy at exactly the same moment, so no distance advantage for either player. And SickDuck just maintaining that plus 2 mil.
Oh, and you gotta be careful here.
Rainbow gets connected on both sides. Don't keep doing this.
Yep, you definitely don't want to give up on the Rainbow Bear Jellies, but it is a little bit risky. But both of them getting through it just safe.
And it's been like a perfect plus 2.5 mil for what feels like the better part of the last 2 minutes. It's kind of wild. Players have been flawless since the early stages, but those early stages, they might come back to haunt Tim.
Yeah, but again, I mean, earlier, watching SickDuck just make one mistake at the end there,
yeah.
I don't think we can give up on this just yet.
Those Rainbow Bear Jellies do get collected here at the end.
Yeah, but Tim missing one more earlier as well, so that the gap continues to fall apart just a little bit, and I think just nice, slow, and steady here for SickDuck. He's gonna be able to keep the lead.
Yeah, I mean, we're very close to the end right now in terms of energy, and that lead has just been maintained at 2.5. Both players have been perfect for like the latter 80% of this map. Ooh. Is that going to change here in the final moments?
Does not look like it. I think SickDuck's going to be able to keep the lead 2-1 here in the grand finals, unless we see something drastic and dastardly happen.
I think he's basically done it, man. That one false step in the early stages, so painful for Tim. Will he be able to stage a comeback? Energy has run out.
And that's
he gets a little bit closer, but in the end, with 1 billion points, it's gonna be SickDuck, another victory, another emote. He's emoting on him, Chobra. Let's get to this thing, man. Torchlit trial, it looked so good for SickDuck in the previous map. Tim had a little bit more distance, but SickDuck with a fumble at the very end. He took too much damage. Tim was able to clutch it out. Can Tim repeat that magic here in game number 4?
So far, just nice and steady on both sides, as it is for this caliber in the very beginning. But SickDuck having just a bit of margin to work with in the earlier phases. Okay, collecting all of the giant bear jellies. You love to see that. Again, that's the big focus with the compounding bonus points.
Yeah, the important thing to watch out for and to try and catch is, do any players at any point miss these giant bear jellies? Because even the difference of 1 or 2 giant bear jellies could spell disaster over the course of this entire run.
Nice and clean up to this phase.
Both players able to collect absolutely everything right there. Very small difference in points, as I think that SickDuck might have a little bit more basic jellies, but in terms of the money makers, the big bear jellies,
yeah, I mean,
dead even.
Less than 100K. This could be anything. Anything could make a difference in the remaining parts of the race, which we still have a long ways to go here in Torchlit Trial.
All right, continue to navigate this path. Every single bear jelly collected here on both sides. Oh no, Tim just missed one.
Oh, that starts to add up just a little bit, and we do see it reflect on the score. Of course, it will continue to update, but SickDuck being able to have a little bit more margin to work with. But hey, we saw it earlier. SickDuck was in the lead, and then he loses it off the relay and with a blunder near the end.
In the final moments of that map earlier, he took some damage, ran out of energy, and Tim was able to use that for one final oof. That gave him the victory. Now, this is a very difficult area to pass with both players. They do it flawlessly. Did he miss another?
For Tim, I believe.
Oh, no.
I mean, again, because it's compounding bonuses, that just starts to hurt more and more unless SickDuck kind of equalizes the number. But 2 giant bear jellies missed. I mean, that starts to just slowly add up over the course of time.
Those points continue to compound. You want the count to get as high as possible with those giant bear jellies.
Okay, for now, Tim has to focus on making sure he doesn't miss any more, because he might have the hope that he can still get a better relay, and we'll see if that could be once again part of the difference.
Yeah, he was able to get a better relay and more distance the last time they faced on this map, but another giant bear jelly. At this point,
-3.
Is this too much? It feels like it's too much damage. -3 jellies.
I mean, it's not looking great. It's not looking great for Tim. But just because of what we saw earlier, I can't say that it's looking dire.
Well, certainly no more jellies to be afford to be missed here for Tim. All right. It's on Twitch coming in. This time, Tim not getting the extra distance. They are neck and neck right now, so he doesn't have that extra buffer zone to try and find some way to come back. He misses another one.
He's so concerned with trying to play it safe, but he's not able to drop low enough on a lot of these double jumps.
It's consistently the bottom of the double jump. Even the first time they played, that was the issue, the crux of the issue here on this map.
Oh no, and now the ball might just simply be in SickDuck's court. If he can make sure he doesn't hit a blunder, especially not anywhere early here with the cherry cookie, then he's just able to keep up in speed and distance, and he should be able to close it out. Currently sitting at match point, SickDuck looking to be the #1 seed coming out of the Desert Preliminaries.
Tim heading into this final match was undefeated. All right,
okay.
SickDuck, hey, he misses one.
All right, all right, you might have a chance, Tim.
As long as Tim can be perfect from here on out, he might be able to close it. But SickDuck, there needs to be
another mistake.
Another mistake.
I mean, it's too much to ask for. We don't have that much left here on the run. It might just be too late for Tim. But SickDuck, you cannot let go. He has to remember what happened last time. He cannot let the foot off the pedal. He has to continue running in perfection. He has to make sure he's avoiding all the obstacles.
Especially in the final moments. You cannot miss these jumps.
So far, no extra mistakes from either of these players. Plays it safe there, doesn't hit any of the obstacles. And I think this might be it. SickDuck might be able to close it in.
He misses another. He misses another. Two more get missed. I think he has one more as a buffer, and that is going to be it in the very end. SickDuck, it was close, a 2 million point difference, but he is ultimately going to be victorious. He gets his revenge from the first match of the night. He wins the last match of the night for that World Championship match, and that's going to be such a treat.